Marvel What If is happening. Yep. Everyone's like kind of into it. And I kind of realized that there's already a Star Wars What If that has been around for decades. And so
this was what, Star Wars Infinities?
Star Wars Infinities. Before we get into this, I want to make sure you like the video, subscribe, do the stuff. Also, thanks to our editor from Luxembourg, Luca, who puts in a lot of amazing work into these videos and is a really cool guy and is available for hire if you want to have a good editor for your videos. And if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll hook y'all up. So this is Star Wars Infinities. It was written by Charles Warner.
Okay.
And so last week, let's have a previously on.
Previously?
So everything in A New Hope happens just the way we expect it to, except for Luke pulls up to the Death Star to shoot into the hole and misses. Like something goes wrong, the Death Star isn't destroyed.
Should have used your targeting computer, idiot.
Right. So they're not able to destroy Yavin 4, but they're able to like damage it and the Rebel base. Leia is captured. Luke and Han go to Dagobah so Luke can get trained as a Jedi. They don't know that Leia survived. Vader is trying really hard to turn Leia to the dark side. Luke, toward the end of the last part, has this dark side cave vision where when the head, he cuts Vader's head off, the faceplate explodes, and it's Leia's face. Ooh! And Han and Chewie are sick of being on Dagobah, so they split.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you missed.
Okay.
We're in a bar on Ord Mantell. Okay. And Han and Chewie are just like hanging out. And Han says, well, Chewie, we've been here for 5 years. 5 years later, quite the surprising time jump, huh? And he's like, I hope Luke is okay. And he's like doing his Jedi stuff and it's
not
having
like
fun.
Crazy and squeezing nipples for green milk.
Right. Yeah. Give it 20 years. And Chewie points to the TV. He's like, the fuck is that? And it's on Coruscant, and the Empire is having this giant parade celebrating another year of peace.
Yeah.
And they're announcing the formation of the new Imperial Senate.
Okay.
Former Rebel leader Leia Organa is on TV. She's in charge of the new Senate.
Oh shit.
She's got this black Nazi outfit on, is like doing the Heil Hitler fists thing for the Emperor and shit. And she's like giving this big speech to everyone, and she's like, I used to be a violent terrorist, but I've switched sides because this side is more peaceful and not violent, and the way we do that is we created a giant world exploding machine. Hail Palpatine. And everyone's like, fucking great, good for you.
Also, I am a Dark Jedi now.
Yeah, well, not yet.
Okay.
We don't really know much about that,
but well, we know that Vader like gave her a lightsaber and said, here, swing it around. She tried to kill him with it.
Right. Han just smashes the TV because they didn't know that she was alive, and now they're like, not only is she alive, but she's full fucking like Hitler mode, right? And that grabs everyone's attention in the bar, and like everyone's looking at Han, and Han,
like, what the fuck? We were watching that. Come on, man.
Han's like, hey, hail Palpatine. We're gonna go now. And so they go to split. A mysterious robed man in the corner is like, hey, I think that's Han Solo, the guy that is carrying a fat price from Jabba the Hutt.
Is it that one dude from A New Hope who has like the big long elephant nose and like
no, that's no, I think actually I'll have to look at it again. I think they're kind of like hinting at that it was Boba.
Oh.
But nothing ever happens with it. So so they get outside and they're being followed by, you know how like when you're a badass like Han Solo, you can tell when people are following you and stuff. It's like that. And Han's like, okay, Chewie, act natural. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to start shooting everybody. And so he starts shooting everybody, and he gets the attention of the local garrison of stormtroopers, and they're like, hey.
As you do when you start shooting everybody.
You can't shoot civilians. That's our job. Knock that off. Han and Chewie steal a hover cart from these Jawas, and it was like, fuck you, you're short. We're taking this. And they have like a little adventure. They're flying through the streets, and they crash it into some things, and they find the Falcon, and they take off.
Okay.
Just barely in the nick of time.
Yeah.
They get into orbit. They're immediately chased by an Imperial Star Destroyer.
Well, shit.
Yeah. TIEs are like, chasing them and shit. And
good thing they have a ship fast enough to avoid Imperial entanglements.
Exactly. And Han's like, hey, did you clean the fuel drive pressure stabilizer? And Chewie's like, that's not a real thing.
Did you bypass the compressor?
Yeah. He's like, that's not a real thing. You just made that up. That part does not exist. And he's like, you were supposed to clean it. I built the auxiliary acceleration compensator. And he's like, yeah, that sounds made up too. And Han's like, fuck it, just punch it. Let's go to Dagobah, see how Luke's doing. And so he presses the button, and they jump to hyperspace, and they're safe, right?
Yay.
Because they have plot armor.
Yeah.
Nothing can happen to them. They're the good guys.
Of course.
So we're on Dagobah. A robed, hooded figure sits on the ground, cross-legged, black cloak, black hood. He starts levitating. All the rocks around him start levitating. He's levitating higher and higher. And then right next to him, Yoda says, hey, you're getting real good at that. Your mind is calm. Good job. And he's like, shh, I'm floating. He's like floating next to the tree. He's like, I'm floating. And Yoda's like, it took a long time for you to learn the patience for this. Like,
took you 5 fucking years.
Yeah, there was a while there where you were just insufferable. Do you remember that when you were insufferable? And so Luke like touches down and is like calms himself, and he pulls back his hood, and he's like, hey, thanks, but I'm still having these visions like before. And Yoda's like, well, that's the Force talking to you. That's the Force does the thing. And then now you got to go to the cave again. You got to do the cave thing again. And so they get to the cave, the dark side cave. And Luke's like, this place still really sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like this. It makes me uneasy. It's just kind of weird. And Yoda's like, yeah, that's the dark side. It sucks. I'm very sorry. I'm so very sorry. And so Luke hands Yoda his lightsaber, having learned his lesson from the last time.
It's like, look, I don't want to see Leia's head in some exploding helmet anymore.
Right. So here's my lightsaber, and he starts to go into the cave, and Yoda's like, hey, don't forget that your lightsaber isn't your only weapon. You got to leave all of your weapons behind. And it looks like, I don't know what that means, but I'll be right back. And so he goes in, and Vader appears again, and he starts attacking Luke, and Luke kind of evades his attacks, and then he starts to have these weird visions, and he starts to see like Padme and little baby Anakin and Darth Maul and young Obi-Wan from Episode 1 and Qui-Gon and Palpatine, and they're all like saying these quotes from the movies. And
so Luke's tripping balls.
Yeah, and so he screams no, and they all stop.
No.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, that worked.
Huh, neat.
And he hears this voice from behind him. He's like, hey, we're looking for this piece of shit called Luke Skywalker. You see him? He turns around, and it's Han Solo. And he's like, nice robe, by the way. Very colorful.
Yeah.
Good job. You got a Johnny Cash thing going on there. And Luke's really happy to see him. And there's this really funny bit where he tries to save him from a snake, but Han Solo just grabs the snake. He's like, it's just a fucking snake, and throws it.
How did Han get into the cave?
I don't know.
He just walked past Yoda?
I guess, yeah, Yoda's like...
you shouldn't go in there. You're interrupted. Like, Luke's having a moment. Han's just like, nah, fuck.
No, actually, Yoda's like, you're a dumbass. Nothing's going to happen. You don't have the Force. Nothing will happen to you. That's fine. So Luke, Han, and Chewie, Yoda, and R2 are all sitting around a fire. They're like cooking and hanging out. They're like having a little campfire. Yeah. They're like having fun. And
they're cooking s'mores.
Yeah. Or whatever the fuck Yoda eats.
Space s'mores.
Or frogs. Probably frogs. And Luke's like, yeah, I figured you'd be back, Han. And Han's like, so I've got some good news and some bad news.
Good news is Leia's alive.
And
bad news is she's gone full fascist.
So Leia's still alive. Luke says, yay. And he's like, bad news, Leia's gone full Hitler. And Luke's like, oh, well, shit. We got to go save her, right?
Yeah.
And Yoda's like, yeah, you're not ready for that. And Luke's like, but I can float rocks. Like, what else could I possibly need to do? I can float rocks, and I myself can float.
Yeah.
And Yoda's like, well, there's some truth that you still need that you don't have. And Obi-Wan straight up lied to you. Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are the same person. And here's some more bad news. He's your father. And Luke's like,
that's impossible.
That's not true. That's impossible. And Yoda's like, okay, cool with the fucking references. And Luke's like, that's okay. I can deal with that. That's fine. Let's go save Leia. She's hot, and I think I've probably got a shot with her. And Yoda's like, oh, there's one more thing I need you to know.
Also, I've been on this swamp planet for 5 fucking years, and you've always been there, so I haven't been able to jack off. I'm a little backed up here.
So, Leia, I go rescue her.
Yeah.
Put my foot in the door. Maybe get my foot into something else. And Yoda's like, oh, there's something else we got to talk about. She's your twin sister.
Fuck!
And he's like, we shall never speak of this again. And also, why is Obi-Wan such a fucking liar? And then goes to Obi-Wan, just appears, and he's like, hey.
From a certain point of view.
I got a whole rationalization for this. I've been working on for years, floating around in the Force. But we're just going to go with, we wanted to protect you. And
also, a certain point of view.
Yeah. Something, certain point of view. And Luke's like, so should I go fight Vader? And he's like, Yoda says, he's old now, and Palpatine probably wants to use Leia to replace him. And he looks like, so yes. And Obi-Wan's like, I don't know. What is the Force telling you? I'm going to admit that it would be fun to go with you and go do cool Jedi shit. But I'm
I'm a ghost.
I'm not even corporeal. Like I can't look.
I can't hold a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's just, what do I do? And Luke's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll just go. And so Han offers to give him a ride. Because he's not really interested in a suicide mission, because like going to Coruscant is probably a really bad idea for them. And as they're about to board the Falcon, Yoda kind of like stops him, and Yoda's like, hey bitches, I'm coming with you.
Oh damn.
And he's like, I heard a rumor Palpatine is sitting his fat ass in the Jedi Temple, and I've got a score to settle. Let's fucking go. And they're like, R2's like, yes,
this is everything I've ever wanted.
On Coruscant, the Empire is celebrating with their new Death Star, which they've renamed the Justice Star.
Of course.
And it's making like a cool eclipse of the sun as
because that's not ominous at all.
Yeah. It's just like a little, demonstration. But they have renamed it to the Justice Star, which they found out pulled better with their constituents.
Yes, I imagine it would.
Yes. Vader and Leia are hanging out in the Jedi Council room, which is kind of like the de facto throne room for the Empire. And Vader's like, hey, it's look at the eclipse. That's pretty cool. Like, it's too bad the Emperor is real fucking old and sick and can't be here. And Leia's like, yeah, fuck him. He'll probably be dead soon. Okay, gotta go. Gotta go do Hitler stuff. And he's like, okay, love you, bye. And so Vader goes to visit the Emperor, and Vader's like, hey, I sense a giant green pointy-eared disturbance in the Force. And Palpatine's like, yeah, that's the destiny I've put into motion. Don't worry about it. And Vader's like, fair enough.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
Okay, then. The Falcon enters the Coruscant system, and Yoda's like, oh, Palpatine is having a little Empire celebration. I'm looking forward to going.
That's adorable.
And Luke like side eyes, like, what are you going to do? And Han interrupts them before he can answer. And he's like, what the actual fuck is all this? And it's this giant cell of super Star Destroyers, the Death Star, the Justice Star.
Yes.
Smaller Star Destroyers, TIE Fighters,
everything.
It's crazy.
It's the entire Imperial Navy.
Yeah, think of the Navy, the Imperial Navy in Return of the Jedi times about 7 or 8.
Damn.
It's really big. And Han's like, we're probably going to die here. This is not good. And Yoda has like this twinkle in his eye. He's like, oh, hey, is that a Death Star over there? And
just drive by and throw me at the Death Star.
Han's like, I think it's the Justice Star. Now they're calling it the Justice Star. And so Palpatine has summoned Vader for another meeting or something. And Vader's like, hey, this green pointy ear disturbance in the Force feels a little bit closer. And Palpatine's like, yeah, your son's here. And he's like, I don't think that might be the only thing. And Palpatine's like, wait, shh, your son.
Yeah.
And
there is another Skywalker.
Yeah. So Han pulls into the the Justice Star docking bay. And Han's like, this, for the record,
this is the worst possible idea.
It's fucking crazy. And Luke to Yoda's like, really though, are you really going to do this?
Are you sure about this?
And Yoda's like, don't worry about it. I'll see you later. And R2's like, oh, stop. I'm going with him.
I have to see that.
I'm going with him.
I need to record this for posterity.
This is going to be fucking awesome. So Han lowers the ramp, fucking surrounded by troopers.
Yeah.
Yoda hobbles down the ramp. And Yoda's like, in the words of an old friend, hello there. He waves his hand. And he's like, Tarkin is expecting me. Take me to him. Fucking mind tricks the entire docking bay of stormtroopers. And R2's like, oh my God, it's so cool. Oh, you're so cool. So Han, they get like, Han's like pulling the Millennium Falcon out, like real slow, like, they're not shooting at us. I think they're listening to him.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we're going to go. And so he pulls out and he and goes to Coruscant. To the Jedi Temple, and they find a place to land. And Luke's like, I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come. And Han's like, I have a bad feeling about this. And Chewie's like, guys, stop it. We've all seen the movie. Stop it. Knock it off. And Han's like, okay, you keep the engines hot. I'm going to go with Luke. And Luke's like, oh, I thought you were going to like split after.
I thought you weren't into suicide missions.
Yeah, I didn't. You don't have to do this. And he's like, yeah, dude, this bitch still owes me a reward from the last time I rescued her.
And by reward, I mean fellatio.
Yes. So Tarkin is on the Death Star. In his quarters, looking out the window.
Star.
Oh, the Justice Star. I'm sorry. And is looking out the window, like admiring everything. Is like, ooh, yes, this is all very evil. Yes. And he turns around, and Yoda is just standing there looking at him. And
Yoda's like, it's really weird the way you jack off when you look at Super Star Destroyers.
Tarkin, who recognizes him from the Clone Wars even.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, shit.
General Yoda.
Yeah. And Yoda's like, yeah, it's been a long time. And he waves his hand. And he's like, I want to tour this fucking awesome Death Star you got here. He's like, actually, we're calling it a Justice Star now. He's like, I want a tour. Give me a tour. And so Tarkin's like,
okay, let's go.
Now, I want to remind you that, remember, ordinarily, mind tricks only work on
the weak-minded,
except for when Yoda's doing it, and they work on fucking everybody.
Everybody's weak-minded.
It's like a cheat code. It's like he can mind trick everyone. So Luke and Han are making their way through the Jedi Temple, and Han's like, "Why aren't there any guards?"
Yeah, this is weird.
And Luke's like, I think that they must know that we're here. I think they want us to be here. And Han's like, okay. So first of all, it's not too late to disappear. Find a nice little planet, raise some kids.
I mean, just go away.
And he's like, okay, let's go find Leia and get out of here. And Han's like, right, okay, let's go. And he turns around and he's like, oh, shit. And 4 fucking Red Royal Guards from Return of the Jedi.
Those guys who look really cool but never did anything?
With double-sided lightsabers.
Oh.
And Han's like, okay, that's actually really cool. Good for those guys. And Luke like turns on his lightsaber. And
Han's like, what the fuck? They have 8 of those. You have 1. What are you going to do about this?
Red guards all turn on their lightsabers and they start flipping around and shit. So Luke is fighting them pretty much 4v1. Yeah. It's doing fine, by the way, because remember, he didn't like leave his Jedi training early. Like he stayed the full 5 years, had the whole full 5-year course, right? And Han is like trying to shoot at him with his gun. Like he's like, good job, Luke. Pew, pew, pew.
I'm helping. I'm helping.
And Han's blaster gets cut in half, and then Luke saves.
I really liked that gun. Come on.
Luke saves Han by taking one of the dropped double-sided lightsabers and throwing it at 2 of the guards and cutting them both in half. And Luke gets cornered by like the last guy that's alive, and Han stabs him from behind with a lightsaber.
It's like, this thing's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I see why you like these.
They turn a corner, and 3PO standing there. Oh. And he's like, oh, hey. 3PO is like, yay, Master Luke. Okay, so not going to lie. At first, I was totally into the Empire thing, but this Empire shit is a little weird. Leia's going full Hitler, as you might have heard on the news.
Kind of worrying.
We need to go and help her, so come with me. And so he takes him into a room where Leia is waiting. And Leia's like, long have I waited. And Palpatine, who's standing right next to her, is like, nice. I might use that one later. And so she's standing up there with like on this terrace with Vader and Palpatine. And Palpatine's like, oh, hey, Luke, nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. And Palpatine hands Leia a lightsaber. He's like, all right, go whoop his ass. And Luke shakes his head and he's like, no. And he throws his lightsaber and he's like, you're my sister. I'm not gonna fight you. And she's surprised by this. And 3PO grabs Han and points a gun to his head. And he's like, I fucking lied. I love the Empire.
That's the most badass thing 3PO has ever done.
I know. And Palpatine's like, you're going to fight her or I'm going to kill Han. Or he's going to clearly kill Han. And Vader like turns his head to Palpatine and he's like, wait, she's my daughter. Excuse me.
Only I get to tell my daughter what to do?
And well, he didn't know.
Oh.
He didn't know. And he just kind of looks over at Palpatine. He's like, what? Excuse me? And Palpatine's like, did you really not know? Like, it was really painfully obvious.
Man. Like,
and so Luke, in order to save Han's life, is like kind of fighting Leia. Like they're clashing lightsabers and stuff. So in orbit, a technician on one of the Super Star Destroyers is like, I'm detecting an energy surge from the Death Star. And the commander is like, it's the Justice Star now, I think. And the technician's like, oh, yeah, right.
Well, I'm detecting an energy surge from the Justice Star.
Yeah. And then the Justice Star just shoots its primary laser and destroys the entire Super Star Destroyer. And on the bridge of the Justice Star, Yoda is standing there with a very mind-tricked Tarkin and R2 who's having the time of his life. Like, this is the coolest shit he's ever seen. And they're just watching this Super Star Destroyer blow up. And Yoda's like, that's a pretty nice shot. Now, we have full control of this whole battle station up here, so I want to see what else this bad boy can do. So back in the Jedi Temple, Luke and Leia are fighting. And Palpatine's like, good, let the hate flow. And then a view screen turns on. It's a bridge crew from a Star Destroyer screaming for help. And they're like, the Death Star's attacking us. And Palpatine's like, it's the Justice Star, actually. And he's like, it's killing us all. And in orbit, the Death Star just starts blowing everything up. They're just like shooting the Star Destroyers, Super Star Destroyers. Everything is just like it's a wasteland. So Luke is trying to take advantage of some of the chaos because Palpatine's like looking at the screen like, what the fuck's going on? And he's trying to like talk some sense into Leia, and it starts to work. He says the right words, and she kind of stops attacking.
So like, yes, actually fascism is bad.
Yeah, and so she kind of stops, and Palpatine like looks at Vader, and he's like, make him keep fighting.
Are you going to do something?
Yeah, and Vader just kind of shrugs.
I can't do anything. Yeah. Like, she's a grown-ass woman. She doesn't listen to me.
Well, at this point, Vader is like, I'm not even on your fucking side anymore. And Palpatine's like, you guys all suck, and it just starts lightning Luke and Leia. And then Vader grabs Palpatine and starts absorbing the lightning. Mm-hmm. And Luke force pushes 3PO away from Han, which kind of like brings him to his senses. I don't know. And so
no, it's like one of those old TVs where you slap the top of it and the picture gets better.
Oh yeah, maybe I was like that. And so while Vader is like distracting Palpatine, they start to fight their way out through stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. And then they escape, and a very injured Vader is slumped over in front of Palpatine, and Palpatine's like, that was stupid. You did a stupid thing, and it won't change anything.
Really stupid.
Yeah, so good job. Everyone will lose. I will win. And this giant wall-screened view screen turns on, and it's Yoda. And he's like, get the fuck out of my house. And Palpatine's like, you want me to get out of your house?
Make me.
Come down here and fucking make me. And Yoda's like,
okay.
All right. And so Luke and that group has made it to the Falcon. Han turns around. He's like, guys, the Justice Star seems to be getting very close. And Luke's like, oh, shit. We have to go right now. And Palpatine is sitting in the Jedi Council chamber watching as the fucking Justice Star slams into the Jedi Temple of the surrounding area. Yoda has piloted the Death Star with through a mind trick, a willing Tarkin, and R2-D2 who's like, I don't even fucking care, we're about to die.
This is the coolest shit ever.
Let's do it. Crashes the Death Star straight into Coruscant, killing the Emperor and probably literally a trillion people.
I think that would kill everybody on Coruscant.
Yeah. So, and then the Falcon escapes. And then they have a celebration on Naboo. Mm-hmm. And it's just like episode 1. It's like Phantom Menace. They're all lined up there. And, and Leia is being made the Chancellor of the New Republic, which people apparently forgot very quickly that she was like Hail Palpatine like 3 hours ago. And then it turns out that R2's memory was copied on the Falcon, and they transferred to a new body. So he's fine. Oh, yeah. They fixed 3PO. It was like some Empire programming, and now he doesn't want to kill people anymore. And Luke and Leia look over, and they see the Force ghost of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin, and they're all happy. And then
do they also see the Force ghosts of the billions upon billions of people Yoda killed?
Probably trillions. Yeah. Yeah, no, Yoda committed mass genocide, but you know what? He got the Emperor, so it's all fine. And that's the end of Star Wars Infinities, A New Hope. We will be doing The Empire Strikes Back next week.
I'm very excited.
This one was absolutely my favorite because, like,
it's just crazy.
Why wouldn't Yoda just drive the Death Star into Coruscant?
Because he would kill trillions of people.
That's true.